Okay guys, hello, what's up? Welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel. You already know. So today I thought I would talk about some like YouTube drama that's happening in the YouTube community. And if you're not involved in the YouTube community, or you really don't watch YouTube, or you don't know a lot of YouTube, whatever, I'm gonna kind of explain the story so that you're not totally lost. But today I'm gonna be talking about Colleen Ballinger, and if you don't know who Colleen Ballinger is, basically she's like one of the OG YouTubers, and like there's some drama going down with her. Just if you're in the YouTube community, you know about this stuff. Like you kind of have to keep up with the YouTubers and like whatever the big story that's going on. So basically Colleen Ballinger used to do this character called Miranda Sings.
Mondays. Hey guys, it's me Miranda. Welcome to Miranda Mondays, the show where I talk to you for an extended period of time into a microphone. And I hope you have been enjoying it. I've been having lots of fun doing it. So,
okay, or whatever. I remember Miranda Sings from when I was like young, like elementary. I was in elementary, and like I know some of my friends would like watch her as Miranda Sings or whatever, and she had like the red lipstick that went like all over her mouth. So she would do this like character, and she'd be on YouTube, and that would be her thing. That's the YouTube videos that she did. I never personally got into her because I did not really think she was like that funny. Like whatever, I get that some other people liked it. I just didn't, which is fine. Everybody likes something different on YouTube. I like real shit, like be like real, like not like you're just playing character or whatever. Like that's just me, because it's not even like a exaggerated character of herself. It's like just a crazy character, you know. So I like people that kind of show their real lives and everything, but everyone likes something different. Anyway, that's fine. So her audience is more towards kids, like younger children, I guess, like, because what kind of adult is going to be a fan of Miranda Sings? Like, just saying. So anyway, so I already knew about her because she was like the same time around Jenna Marbles. I like Jenna Marbles. Like I watched more of her videos. Like Jenna Marbles is funny as hell. RIP her channel though, because she don't post no more because the internet is just crazy now. It's hard because everyone was just canceling everyone these days. I mean, I guess for good reasons, but also like the times were different back then. Like the creators that are getting canceled, I mean, it's so easy now to say like that's not okay, but when like that time was, everybody was doing like whatever they could just to get views, whatever, right? There was no like this is wrong, this and that, whatever. It's like, oh, it's just the internet. It was like a new time to be posting online. Like not everybody did that. So anyway, basically the drama that happened is in COVID times 2020. Basically this guy named Adam, this kid named Adam, basically dropped a YouTube video exposing like Colleen Ballinger and being like, I forget how old he was, but he was like 17, I think. Yeah, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, like 17, around 17 at the time, and he dropped this video. And basically he was like her biggest fan, the biggest Miranda Sings fan, like was in group chats with her. Like she had this group chat basically with just underage kids that were her fans, and basically getting them to, you know, if anybody talked bad about her, she would apparently like send them her way to go like harass them. And then she ended up getting a divorce in her real life, like her real personal life, and that was kind of like a really hard time for her, and that kind of was like the end, like the first thing that kind of like spiraled her. Like she just kind of like spiraled, and it's like drama after drama, like after her divorce, because she would get like these kids that were in the group chat to like bully her ex-husband and this and that, and like, you know, whatever, which is kind of crazy. So the big issue here now is that the fact that she was in a group chat with kids, like underage kids, like yeah, they were her fans, but isn't that weird? Like people are like, that's so weird that, you know, as a 30-year-old you're talking to like underage minors. And she was also like talking to them all the time, apparently like inappropriately, like not like inappropriately where she was trying to get with them, but just talking about like asking questions. Like Adam wanted to do a Q&A for his channel. He's like, for his channel, and she was like, oh, you need questions for your Q&A, like, are you a virgin, what's your favorite sex positions, just stuff like that, like, which he found uncomfortable, and like he does share that on his channel. So I mean, if you don't know the story, I would just look up Colleen Ballinger, but it's a really big thing going on in the YouTube community right now, just because James Charles, like, it's very it's like a debate, because she's a woman and she's like been talking to underage minors and being kind of like inappropriate. Some would say, like, you know, like there is a line, because it's like, why would you want to be in a group chat with like minors anyway, talking to them on a daily basis, meeting up with them, like, you know, I mean, the thing is, it's also hard for me to speak on, because I mean, she's lived a very different life, right? Like, she has a bunch of like fans that are younger, like her fans are younger, so she meets up with them all the time for meets and greets and stuff like that. So to have them on the group chat might have not been like, you know, she probably just didn't think that was a big deal because her fans are younger, right? I'm trying to put it into perspective, because like, how, like, as me as 23, I wouldn't want to talk to like underage kids at all, but like, I wouldn't want to be in a group chat at all with any like other people. But I do have like a boyfriend. I mean, she was married, so I don't know, like, I don't know, for me it's just, I don't even have time to be in a group chat with my real friends. Like, I am in them, but like, I'm not on there 24/7 all day every day, like texting in there about it. So I don't know, right? It's like a different, she's living a different life for real. So that's what's going on right now, is like basically people are canceling her. She's like it to get canceled, and she has came out with an apology, and this was after Adam basically like was like, I think it was titled like what Colleen Ballinger did to me or something like that, or like, I don't know, something, I'll put it here. So he made this video.
McIntyre, who does like similar style content to me, actually posted a video talking about his experience with Colleen. It's this video here called Colleen Ballinger Stop Lying. It was posted 3 years ago, and some of the accusations in this video are very, very worrying. For example, he talked about working for free, the fact that Colleen would like kind of like trauma dump on him, and like talk about her husband and like the situation that's going on there. But you gotta bear in mind here, Adam's a man. Like, you really shouldn't be having this conversation. And then some absolute mental stories of like Colleen sending like lingerie to like him and like other fans and whatever. It's really grim. But the thing is,
so I still have this. My mum kept it. I didn't even see these because my mum had just taken them away because she was so shocked. So this was what I was sent. I don't even know, sorry, I don't know which way this goes. This is what I was sent, okay.
And it basically like just addressed everything that happened to like with him. So in his opinion, Colleen very much like made it seem like he was the super fan, like they were like this, like best friends, and he kept doing tweets for her, kept kind of helping the Miranda Sings character, like kept coming up with ideas, and she kept being like, oh yeah, if this is good, if it works out, like maybe you can work for me.
It was mainly focusing on helping her in the Miranda account from 2017 on, but there was a little part of helping her own channel out with ideas as well in 2017 to 2018. So I just helped give ideas. She was aware that the Miranda character had passed its time and that she didn't really enjoy doing it anymore because she couldn't really be problematic as the character anymore. So in December of 2017, I proper started giving tweets for the Miranda account. This included tweets on iCarly, Brazil, and a number of other things. She messaged me and said, I have a present for you today. I've never done this with anyone, but I'm trusting you. And then she proceeded to tell me about how she was planning on making me her social media intern. Right now, I'm considering you my social media intern, but if things go well, we can talk about me hiring you part-time for an hourly rate. I don't like using your creativity and insight for free, so just know I'm not planning on taking advantage of your help. I'm planning on making it more official if it works out that way. How does that sound, Queen? So then I got into the account and she basically just sent me a message saying go crazy. So what I had to do was tweet, respond to fans, talk to fans, basically just get hype about Miranda again. So I spent my entire day and night talking to fans on the Miranda Sings account in group chats. I had long conversations just talking to people on there, talking to fans, tweeting them, and just going through the list of tweets that I had sent her, thinking what will I tweet next.
Kind of like making this kid feel like he's gonna work for her and stuff like that, and you know, never paid him for anything, and he was like helping her for like 1 to 2 years. You know, making it seem like she was gonna give him a job, and like he wanted to do stuff online, and you know, he had his own YouTube channel, and she never really like, she kind of made it seem like she was gonna really help him out. And then basically, I don't know, he was tweeting for her, like she eventually gave him the passwords to tweet and everything, and then eventually she was like getting backlash for some tweets, and then she kind of blamed it on him, even though she approved the tweet.
I need to approve everything before you post it just to avoid problems. It might slow down the process, but we gotta be careful. Now keep in mind, with proof here, she had seen everything that I was going to tweet and had tweeted on the account. So then I was like super confused, and she sent me a message that says, I'm not mad at all, I'm just paranoid because everyone always gets mad at me and I always have to apologise. And then please pay attention to this part because this is just what confuses me. She says, and OMG, I love everything you did today. It was magical to see everyone happy and excited to see Miranda come back to life. Then we were having a conversation where she was talking about Miranda the character and the fall of the character and the fall of her public image after the divorce and her own feelings on that, but that's personal and unrelated, so I don't see any point of including that right here. So later in the night, she sent me a message and said, okay, I deleted the gay tweets, sorry, I'm too weak, I can't have people thinking I would make fun of the LGBTQ community. Don't hate me, but I was getting too many hate tweets. So at 6:05 PM on the 27th of March, she sent me a message saying, I'm getting an overwhelming amount of hate for the coming out stuff, I don't know what to do, it's like every other tweet I'm getting right now on my Colleen Twitter. I haven't even looked at the Miranda, yet I'm scared to. So 10 minutes later, it turned into her saying how she apologised to one person. And she said, the thing is, I agree with them. Queerbaiting is not a joke. I'm super sad I've upset so many people. I'm telling you, girl, I'm super sensitive, like near tears. Again, trying to guilt me and make me feel really bad for something that she had already approved and found funny. And she didn't see any problems with it. I'm going to be really honest for a second. I spent that entire day just crying in bed and texting my friends, and my mum and dad were just comforting me the entire day. I was a mess that day. I was completely radio silent on everything. Ask any of my friends from that day. It was such a horrible day. Like, it was so awful. I didn't even get a message from Colleen asking how I was. It was just guilt-tripping me that I had done all this to her, almost as if I had planned it or something. So she continued to talk about it. She said, it's all anyone is talking about, I'm really upset. I would never post something like that, and now everyone thinks I'm homophobic. I'm really upset. So right now she's seemingly taken back all opinions of me, of my tweet ideas, of my input on the account, for her saying thank you for everything you did, it was magical, I'm so happy. The fans, now it's, I would never tweet stuff like that, my fans think I'm homophobic, I can't believe this. And instead of checking in how I was as well, I was just getting short, snappy sentences to guilt me even more. At this stage, I had enough, and my parents had enough, and I sent the following message. I've logged out and this situation will die down. People know you, they were extremely excited last night. Mob mentality will make them think they have to believe a certain way. I hope you've seen the interaction last night got, and that there's so much more possibility for the character. The fans were just waiting for you to give them that moment. The series on YouTube has all positive comments and feedback. Twitter drama stays on Twitter. I love you so much and this will pass. I got left unread and I was ignored from this point on. Yep.
And then it started to be kind of like a falling out. And then after the fallout, like also there was this one incident like in his video that he did say like she was on live stream and she gave out all her clothes, like she was giving my clothes and stuff on this live stream, like she kind of like does that, sends stuff to fans, whatever, and he was on it. And then they had this underwear that she's never bought, this lingerie set that she never bought or anything, and then it ended up being like, you know, they were asking Adam if he wanted it.
Oh my god, it's making me laugh so much. I want to send him something. Do you want the bra, Adam?
Do you want the bra and panties? Tweet right now.
Okay, maybe he'll want the panties. Although then his parents will be like, you're not allowed to watch who is sending you panties.
I don't watch it back that much, but
Okay.
So then I respond and I'm like, oh my god, they're giving me attention. That's how
Yep.
So I go, oh my god, they're giving me attention. So I respond, I'm like, yes. And they're like, oh, let's do it. Then Corey puts it on and he's like, look, like Adam, like I'm like wearing it and stuff. That was it. no one actually tells the truth of what happened in that. And she cut it out and literally edited the clip in her addressing everything video as well. And that's why, like, to this day, everyone's like, he begged for it, he begged for it, he begged for it. And aside from the conversation of like a child asking for it, let's put that aside, because at this stage, I've heard that so much that I'm just putting that aside.
Sorry, no, you don't have to put that aside. I'm sorry. That is important. I know, but you're a child.
I know.
Nobody out there standing up for Colleen ever has the right to ever say anything like that. It's victim blaming. I'm sorry.
I've just had for the past 3 years thousands of people like say that to me, so it's hard for me to not react in that way.
I get it.
But anyway, that was it. It was a case of them doing that, and no one actually tells the truth of that clip because she edited it in a way that was. She goes, this tweet's funny. And then they're like, Adam wants it. But they cut out the fact that they're like, we should send it to Adam. So they completely rewrote it and made me the fucking villain for no reason.
Yep. She had to. She had no choice to make you the villain. That's it. But even if that were the case, let's say you were the villain, you were a damn teenager.
And he was like, yes, like they're giving me attention, like I want the lingerie. And they sent him the lingerie because he was her super fan, right? So she sent him the lingerie. And like then that was like a big deal because like he's like an underage kid. It's like just weird that you're sending underwear. Like how it seems like, oh, you're like sending underwear to an underage boy. You're in a group chat with him. Like it's super weird, right? It
feels like, okay, now this is the pattern that's emerging. And correct me if I'm wrong. So she's like, she gets some ideas out of you, ghosts you for a little while. Then she needs ideas, comes back. It sounds like almost an abusive relationship. I know that's for lack of a better term, but basically you are being used when she needs you.
The whole thing is just weird, but again, like I'm not Miranda Sings. I never lived her life. I was never like, I never had a bunch of kids being my like super fan, right? Like I don't like, it's just weird. Like it's weird when it's not you, but like who knows, maybe if you're in that situation, like maybe the underwear wasn't like meant to be a gross thing, but definitely just being in a group chat with underage people, like it's just saying like people are saying like she's like grooming kids. I mean, like, kind of in a way, like it does seem like it could look like that. Like
cringed me out to think what I was doing online to defend her, but she was telling me all this information about her ex and then was telling me like, oh, I loved your new YouTube video, because I did YouTube all along, and she started commenting on my YouTube videos, and the comments are like still up where she was, I remember on one I did, it was like, I was on holiday with my family, and she commented like, you're a legend, or something like that. She's like, commenting, and then she would comment on them, and then get me to do all this for her ex, and then comment again, and I remember she was like, oh, I can't wait to like show you to my audience, and then there was one day that she asked me to do something, or say something, or there was some sort of forum, or I didn't get something to her in time or whatever. And she posted a vlog that day. And in her vlog, there was another person in our group chat there was another person in our group chat, I won't say any names. And she had just started a YouTube channel the week before, and she had posted one video. And Colleen's vlog that day in Vancouver, like 5 minutes of it, or like under 5 minutes, was giving a shout out to this girl and how amazing her videos were. And everyone needs to go over and subscribe, and was putting her channel thing. And it was basically to me that she promised me she was going to do it. I didn't do what she wanted, so she did to do another member in the group who had been doing YouTube for like 24 hours.
So Colleen comes across as somebody who's intelligent, who's funny, who's caring, blah, blah, blah. She comes across as all these things, but she's a vindictive snake is what I'm hearing. Like she is someone who is obviously immature, someone who, if you don't do what she wants, she will throw you under the bus or help someone else. She's just a douchebag. That's what I'm picking up on.
Because why are you in a group of underage kids getting them to like basically attack people if they don't like you? Like that's so weird. That's crazy. Because only kids would do that. Only kids would, like, you're not going to get a group of adults like banding together and then being like, yeah, like, you know, it's weird. So basically after that, Adam and her did have a falling out. Kind of like, I think after the fact that he had her Twitter, and then she was just like, yeah, it's not working, this and that, and then like eventually like cut her off. Like they just stopped talking. And like, I don't know, I think Adam was really hurt by that. I mean, if you want to like look, he goes into like full details exactly on like everything that happened, but I'm just giving the basics if you don't know.
So 3 or 4 weeks passed and I heard nothing. On vlogs for days after, she milked how sad she was, crying but never saying what it was, which again was just another big F you to me. And I'd also been aware that Corey DeSoto, her best friend, had been shit-talking me in fan DMs during this time. He blocked me on Twitter and I called him out for it. Then recently I was showed DMs of what Corey had been saying about me in these group chats and what he had been saying that Colleen had said about me in these group chats. So there's a Twitter account, there's no need saying the at because it's just free promo, but it was basically just sending hate and targeting and harassing Colleen Ballinger fans. And the DM from Corey read, Colleen thinks, and then the at is Adam. In this group chat with a bunch of other people. Now I got sent this DM, thank you for everyone looking out for me by the way, and sending me this stuff, and I also got sent so much more on what had been said about me in these group chats from people I thought was friends, between Corey, Colleen, anyone. I have everything sent to me, people were always looking out for me, and I just... Whenever you're going through shit with something like this, whenever people are still looking out for you, it really means the world, so you know who you are. So that Twitter account was basically just trolling and attacking Colleen fans, and I was hurt that it was believed that I had done this or even taken part in this. I didn't even know what the account was. First, that Colleen believed that I was behind the account or even a part of it, not even just owning it. And secondly, that Corey felt brave enough to run off and talk about it in DMs.
Then he made this video basically like exposing her and it blew up. I remember seeing this video on my like page. Like I didn't know who this guy was, but I like was like, oh okay. And you know, I watched it back then, but I didn't really care about Miranda Singh, so this wasn't like a big thing for me. I was like, oh okay, that's interesting. She's, you know, canceled, that's it. But apparently this other girl, Cody, or sorry, not girl, I don't think they identify as anything, so I'm just gonna say like I think they identify as them now, like I don't know, but whatever. This person, Cody, made a video basically debunking Adam's whole video and being like he's just a clout chaser, he's just doing this for clout, like kind of debunking like what he said, like, you know, none of it's true.
So in that video, we talk about the tweets I'm about to show you. In these tweets, Miranda Singh said she was coming out as a Meghan Trainor fan. Well, the world learned on April 28th, 2020, that it wasn't Miranda Singh's creator, Colleen Ballinger, who tweeted them. It was a 17-year-old named Adam McIntyre. He tells us all about it in a video that he posted called Colleen Ballinger Stop Lying. He then adds, we'll be taking a step back for a while. Things have been going on for years that I've let slide. But more shockingly, past few weeks, and I can't continue acting like nothing's happening. I'm approaching 18 and I have to evaluate. The description underneath the video says, this is a video I never ever thought I would have to make, and my heart breaks making it. My intentions are to tell my side of the story and disassociate myself, as all I am seeing online is theories about what is happening and what I have or have not done.
As you all know, I was a good friend of Colleen and Corey.
That's interesting because when I talked to Corey in direct messages on Twitter about this, he said that he never had a friendship with you. Corey told me not one DM, nothing. The only time I said his name was when we wondered if he ran the hate account, because for years people sent us screenshots of him hating on us. I hate how he acted like I was friends with him. I never even talked to him. This is a screenshot that Adam shows in his video where Corey says that Colleen thinks that blank is Adam, but you all blank, but who blank. Corey then also sent me these screenshots to prove that he's never sent a message to Adam on Twitter and Facebook.
After 2016, during a live stream that I'll discuss later, me and Colleen started talking on a more personal level. And by 2017, we were good friends, or what I would have called good friends. Very quickly, we started talking a lot, and my parents were really happy to see the fact that someone like Colleen Ballinger was so dedicated to talking to all of her fans. This slowly turned into me getting private details about her divorce and what was happening with the relationship with her ex-husband.
Now, Adam actually never shows any proof that this allegedly took place. And because I know that Adam lies several times throughout this video, I do not believe it.
Around this time, though, was whenever my parents started getting a little bit more cautious and were wondering why a 30-year-old was talking to, at this time, a 13-year-old about her divorce. So from this point on, my parents really observed the conversations that I took part in with Colleen.
Remember this later, because his parents have access to his account and can see their conversation.
Our relationship relationship slowly turned into me always being asked to go find drama for her, whether it was about Josh, ex-friends, or fans. At the time, I saw this as harmless, and I was just really excited that my favourite person in the entire world wanted to talk to me. Now looking back though, I can see that it was just a way of baiting me to constantly get me to get her the information.
Adam again doesn't show any proof that this actually happened. It's a little odd to me that he would say that an adult would ask a minor to go look up drama for him, especially when they have an assistant. Isn't that what assistants are for? Doing things for them?
Cody was also in, like, I think the group chat, like one of the group chat, like Adam was like her main person, then Adam left and then like Cody kind of took over. So Colleen apparently got Cody to make this video and like do what they always do and like kind of turn against Adam. Anyway, so just 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, 2 years after, 2 to 3 years, because this is 2020, it's 3 years later, Cody just drops this video randomly being like the truth about Colleen Ballinger or whatever, like something about Colleen Ballinger. I'll put it here.
I did not know at the time that there were minors in these group chats, which I should have done the research on. So I want to apologize to any child who were in these group chats. I should not have been in a group chat with you. There's no excuse for that. Should not have been in group chats with minors. Done. Period. Let's move on. I
forget what the name of the title is. Basically saying like, yeah, Colleen made us make that video. Like, I should have never said anything about Adam. Adam was completely right. Like, he was telling the truth. And it was a big deal. Like, it was a big deal because Adam's been getting like non-stop hate and stuff on the situation. Like, ever since Cody dropped that video after his video, people were like, we don't believe you. Like, you know, you're overplaying it. She never talked to you about her marriage. Like, people were, he was also saying like how she trauma dumped a lot about the divorce.
Then we have the Adam McIntyre situation. This happened. He makes his video about Colleen and like shares all these DMs about Colleen, and I'm like, wow, not her literally manipulating a child to work for her for free, trauma dumping, because that's the phrase for it. It's trauma dumping, not her trauma dumping on a literal child. I was really flabbergasted when this happened. I saw this video and my immediate thought was, what? Like, when he started talking about how Colleen would talk about her divorce with him, I'm like, he's a literal child. Why are you trauma dumping on a child? Like, you're a grown adult. Like, maybe get a therapist. That was one of my issues. I would trauma dump in group chats when I should have been trauma dumping to a therapist. I am going to show you DMs between me and Colleen and me and Corey because I think you need to see these. She DMs me and says,
I wanted to reach out to you privately and in confidence and let you know why I'm staying silent. After he sent me that last message,
which you can see in his video, I'll link that down below,
that he is now made public, I responded to his messages immediately, did not ghost him, and then received a message from his mother through his DMs asking me to not speak of him. I now realize I should have never been communicating with him in the first place.
Yeah, duh. He was a child. He's not even the only child that she was talking to. She was literally in DMs talking to children about sex. Here's one. Are you a virgin? This is Colleen in a group chat with children. They're called the Weenies. This is the group chat. If you're in the Colleen Ballinger fandom, you know about this group chat. She's also asking, what's your favorite position? These are children. And like, one of the things that I also think is interesting from the Colleen Ballinger situation, here is a screenshot from the video. This is about when Colleen was queer baiting. I made a video on that. This whole situation I thought was Colleen. Found out from this video that Adam posted that the queer baiting thing was actually Adam. I'm not even mad because like, he's a kid. It doesn't matter. He's a child. Children make mistakes, you know? A lot of people were mad at Adam now. She's like, am I gonna get in trouble? Be careful. I don't want to be in a scandal and have to apologize. Not even showing any sympathy towards how he's reacting to this whole situation. It's all about her.
And they were like, hey, just want to let you know, like, I posted a video last night about Colleen. And I was like, okay. And I went and watched the video, and the video actually brought me to tears just based on the holy fuck, I cannot believe it. It was an entire video talking about how they were manipulated by Colleen into making this video, taking me down because Colleen didn't want to be taken down. Very simple terms, and shows all of these messages from Colleen being like, I'm not gonna take him down because he's a minor, but then would message Cody and be like, here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this. Sent a screen recording of every single message I've ever sent her. So she was leaking all
She
of the
was doing it too.
actual proof in that video that she screen recorded and just scrolled through like all of these texts. And Cody put it in their video, and then also showed Corey's messages, and Corey messaged Cody and was like, you need to like do something about this. He's lying. You know, I've never spoken a word to him. Like he's, you know, psychotic, like all these different things. I have Corey's number in my phone. Corey used to trauma dump on me late hours of the night. Corey at times would like flirt with, you know, well, let's not have that conversation, but there's that conversation to have as well. So there's so many moments where they just lied to Cody to try get me to be taken down. And now Cody has revealed that.
Trauma dumped a lot about the divorce onto this like 17-year-old kid, or like, you know, young ass kid, like underage kid, about your marital problems and this and that, and just so weird, right? Weird. So people are like, she didn't talk to you about their marriage, like you're lying, you just want this for clout, you're just upset that like she like doesn't like you anymore, whatever, because he was like a super fan, right? And it's actually just so sad if you go listen to the whole story about him, which, you know, you can. And he just did an interview. Like everybody's talking about this story on YouTube right now because it's just like a big deal, because she, like, Miranda Sings was like a big character. She was one of the very first YouTubers ever, right? Same with Jenna Marbles. And also, Colleen just started up a podcast with Trisha Paytas. So this is how I kind of like, I also started watching, like, I started kind of watching Trisha Paytas around like 2020, I think, when everyone kind of did. I think a lot of people watched her before, but people were really, like, everybody watched that podcast of, what's it called, Frenemies. Everyone watched Frenemies, let's be real, during the pandemic. Okay, that was a lit podcast, and I just started watching them before Ethan and her kind of like got together. So I was like, this is so interesting, because I kind of knew a little bit about them, but I never like watched Trisha Paytas or anything. And I never watched H3, but there's the fact that I knew about Trisha Paytas, and I knew like Ethan kind of, I knew they didn't like each other, and then all of a sudden they're doing podcasts with each other, so I was like, yeah, I'm tuning into that. Watched it, really got into it, kind of like learned about Trisha's character, Ethan's character, and now when Frenemies broke up, I kept watching Trisha Paytas because she's like fucking unhinged. Like, she's so crazy. Like, you gotta respect her. I mean, you might not like her, you might not like the things she's done, she's got canceled so many times, but the thing is, the girl makes money off of it, which is the crazy part. Like, she is making money. Like, that's her whole goal. So like, people going over to hate on her, I mean, it's giving her money, right? So if you don't like her, just don't watch her. But she is so entertaining, people can't help but watch, you know, which is very, like, she's like, you know what I mean? It's one of those people, it's like, people are like, oh my god, she's so dumb, she's just a blonde bimbo, but look at how good she's grinding out here. Like, that's, you gotta respect that in a way. So anyway, she doesn't do the podcast anymore with H3 because they broke up. They were in a big like feud, whatever. That was a huge drama. And now Trisha Paytas is trying to have a comeback and doing a podcast with Colleen Ballinger. And everyone is so against Trisha Paytas just because she's been canceled so much. She's done so much problematic things. And the fact that Colleen Ballinger is like also like kind of problematic now. Now she did a podcast together, and then Adam covered the podcast, and kind of, you know, people are starting to turn on Colleen Ballinger for even doing a podcast with Trisha Paytas. That's how much people don't like Trisha Paytas, is like, you'll be the bad guy just for doing a podcast with her. So ever since the podcast, now all of a sudden this stuff has been coming out because Cody decided to drop her video, and then Adam also made a response video just being like, finally, and now it's like a big blow up. He's doing interviews about it because everybody knew kind of about this story, but no one, like, I mean, honestly, just looking at the kind of like things like Miranda Sings' character did, I mean, she was just weird to me. Like, she was just weird to me. I'm just not into that. If you're into that, that's great. But then, like, I never knew her content, right? So now her content is coming up, and there is like videos of her letting kids put her hands down her pants for shows, which is kind of weird. Like, it's a bit, but like, you have to be like very young to do it. That's super weird. Like, I don't know, I just don't see myself as a character letting kids put their hands down my pants. But like, I wouldn't even be a Miranda Sings character. Like, I wouldn't put the lipstick on, I wouldn't be like, doing that, right? So it's like a totally different, totally, like, you know, she thinks totally different than me. Like, I don't know, that's super weird. And like, I just don't think, like, I don't know if my kid liked that shit. I don't know what I would do. Like, I don't think I could sit through a show, really.
As you attend one of Miranda's live shows. One of the most inappropriate comedy skits we have seen is from audience members recording her cheeseball skit without her knowledge. Miranda starts off this skit on how to go on a date, which is already an unnecessary lesson to be teaching to children since they're obviously way too young for that kind of activity. She has a boy accompany her on stage who is, I'd say, maybe 10 years old. She plays out the scene where she's leading her date into the woods so that they can be alone and proceeds to tell her date that you should always pack a snack because a girl loves to eat.
Next thing you need to do, always remember, boys, pack a snack because a girl loves to eat. Am I right?
She turns to the 10-year-old boy and tells him, I know you didn't pack a snack, but that's okay. I packed a snack for both of us, so wait right here. I'll go get it.
I know you didn't pack a snack. It's okay. I packed a snack for both of us. Wait right there. I'll go get it. This is the number one thing you can do on a date is eat a snack. Now, I packed my favorite snack, which is, of course, cheese balls.
This is the part where things really start to go off the rails because Miranda comes back with her favorite snack, cheese balls, and tells the audience, you can't just flail your cheese balls around because there are bears out there, so of course you need to hide your cheese balls.
You can't just flail around the cheese balls when you're on a date in the woods because there are bears out there and they will try to eat your cheese balls.
At which she then proceeds to stuff the bag of cheese balls into her pants. She then announces, now my cheese balls are hidden from the bears, except for this bear right here.
So you have to hide your cheese balls. So for example, now my cheese balls are hidden from the bears, okay? Except for this bear right here.
Implying that her 10-year-old guest on stage is a bear after her you-know-what. Then she asks the audience, want a cheese ball? Directing her pelvis towards them.
Wait a minute. Want a cheese ball?
Mind you, these are mostly very, very young kids in the audience who she's asking if they want to reach into her pants for cheese balls. Not to mention their own parents accompanied with them hearing these jokes. She then proceeds to make her guest feel very uncomfortable and directly asks him the inappropriate question if he wants a cheese ball. They then cut the scene early by having Josh interrupt and Miranda responds with, it's not what it looks like. At face value, this comedy skit seems somewhat harmless when you are there at the live show laughing along with everyone at every joke that comes out of her mouth. But when you view this skit from a distance, this has very inappropriate P-word vibes. Putting an audience member in this situation who is way too young is pretty disgusting. Implying you are on a date with an underage child, directly asking them if they want to put their hand in your pants. Not sure what Miranda was thinking, but it doesn't stop at this live show. This image may be disturbing for some people. Here's a picture of another young boy at a live show who actually felt comfortable enough to reach into her pants for the cheese balls. And I mean, look at that face she's making while he does it. Like, are you kidding me, Colleen? Imagine if this was a male on stage and a little girl did this. The worst part is Miranda has no shame in posting this on Facebook that an audience member took and titles it Current Mood. Unbelievable.
But anyway, so now people are saying, like, this is predatory behavior. And, you know, James Charles got canceled for doing the exact same thing. Like, if James Charles was in, like, a group chat with a bunch of young, like, boys or girls, like, he would get canceled too, no? So people are saying, like, just because she's a girl, like, she's been getting away with it. But, like, in my opinion, do I think she's trying to, like, do inappropriate things with kids? No. Like, I don't think she's trying to actually, like, get with kids. But it is, like, super weird. Like, it's just very unnormal. Like, it is weird. Like, the judgment is very off there, and I'm 23, right? So as a 30-year-old, I don't think you would, like, be doing that, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. If you guys know about the story, like, what do you think? I do recommend just going to, like, go to Adam's channel. Go, like, you can watch the drama. Like, there's so many videos out on it now. So,
And she starts like turning on me and blah, blah, blah. And then she starts sending me like these crazy voice memos of her like really upset and stuff and like basically like blaming me. And then she's like, people are so sensitive. This is why I don't want to do Miranda anymore. Like Miranda sucks to do. Like I hate doing Miranda now. Like people are just so sensitive. I don't want to get canceled. Like we talked about this or whatever, just flipping around to me. Then she issues an apology and then she kicked me out of the account the time that I logged out. So it was like a simultaneous getting off of the account. And then she did the apology and she cut me off. And then a couple days or a couple weeks, I don't know the timeline, later, I get a message from someone and they go, hey, just to let you know, Corey and Colleen have been talking shit about you in group chats with fans saying that you're running hate pages on them. Because there was a hate page on Colleen at the time on Twitter. And they were like, they like believe that it's you and they're telling everyone it's you. And they're also saying that you're like doing all this like hate speech against them. So then I confronted Colleen about it. And I was like, this is super upsetting. Like, I know what happened with the Meghan Trainor tweet, but like, I have stood by you all these years and whatever. And she basically came back with like a snarky response, like, how dare you? Like insinuate she would say that, even though I literally had proof that her and Corey were talking shit about me, even though I did not do anything wrong. And then I was like, I responded to her and I was like, oh, well, now that you're saying this, like, imagine someone spoke to your son that way. Like, imagine the way you're speaking to me, like someone speaking to your son in 16 years from now, speaking to your son the way you've spoken to me. And she responded and she was like, how dare you bring up my son? Like, you're like, it was like basically that I was harassing her son and threatening her son. She's like, how dare you? And blah, blah, blah. From that moment on, she started really talking shit about me behind the scenes and I was getting sent it all. And the only reason I made my video was because my YouTube channel was so connected with her, like because of the fandom. And people would always comment on my videos like, when's Colleen going to comment? So I made the video, did not want it, promise you, on literally my granny's life, did not want it to do what it did. I wanted the video to be for my core audience, the like 600 people max that would watch it, to be like, this is what happened. This is what made me uncomfortable. This is like looking back on everything, because it was like a couple weeks after the Meghan Trainor thing that I pieced everything together. And I was like, don't bring her up to me anymore because we're not friends anymore. And that was why the video was made.
That's just my opinion on it. I was like, it's crazy. Maybe I'll do a deep dive, like looking into more of the stuff she did, because I really don't know the character well. Like, if you guys know anything and you guys want to send me anything, if y'all know anything about the story, you can send me it, because I love to hear about the tea. But this is the biggest tea right now on YouTube, just because she's such an old YouTuber, and the fact that she's starting up a podcast with Trisha Paytas is just so interesting. They're deleting comments, everyone's leaving like hate comments. It's crazy. It's a crazy time. So I mean, we'll see. Like, she might address it, she might not. Adam's like calling her out to address it, so we'll have to see on that. But I will put some clips in, like, of the story, so y'all know, or y'all can keep up, but the important stuff. But yeah, if you guys want to like sit through the few 30-minute videos of them actually explaining it, I would recommend doing that, just so you can keep up with the tea with me. And y'all, see you in the next one. You already know, like, comment, and subscribe, because I'll probably might do some follow-ups if the drama continues. All right, bye.
Immediately after the video, there was a creator called Cody Tyler who started basically taking my spot in the fandom and was like the one who was like talking about all the drama and stuff. And my brother was showing me like what this person was tweeting, and I was like, oh my god, this is reminiscent of how I talked on Twitter. And then I started stressing out, being like, oh my god, that means that they're like working to talk bad about me, because that's how I would do it in the moment, if the way I acted with Colleen. And then Cody came out with this video, which was basically like debunking my entire video, and was saying that I was, just coming at Colleen, and I was a liar, and Colleen's, just this innocent person, and, I'm just fame hungry, and and it just ruined everything. I mean, I lost all of my fandom friends, which everyone dropped me because she told them to. And then I started losing people in my real life, because then Cody's video came out, which basically exposed me for being like a fame hungry, like clout goblin. So then a lot of people in my social circle at the time was like scared of me. So then a lot of them dropped me, and people in like my school and like Zoom was talking about it as well. And it just was not great. So I just wanted to open it with that. And I also wanted to have this picture in the background, the entire video, to let you know what I looked like and what age I was when this shit started. I'm only 20 now. But this all started whenever I was not 20. So I have a list here, and I have a lot of screenshots that I want to get to, and I want to kind of stay on track here.